And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host, Jonathan. Once again, bringing you my thoughts and review for today's episode of Marvel's What If Season 2, Episode 5. Now, as we continue watching these episodes daily, which, to me, it's awesome. I feel like a show like this should drop its episodes daily. I think it works better for this particular show. That way people view it more. That way we get more seasons out of it. Plus, it's anime. It's animated, so it makes more sense. If you can't really do it, with the live action show, but I think this formula works for the animated stuff. So, like Spider-Man, when they do the new Spider-Man cartoon, or even the new when the X-Men returns, they should do it daily. I think it would be really, really good for it. But anyway, let's talk about episode 5, because honestly, I thought this episode was really, really good. Actually, it might be my favorite episode so far. I know I said that the Christmas episode with Happy Hogan was my favorite. I think this episode just beat it, and here's why. We got to see the Avengers do their thing with the leader with Peggy Carter as Captain Carter, leading the Avengers, doing her thing. She is also an Avenger of the multiverse, so there's that as well. So her and the team, they do the thing. They stop Loki with the Chitauri army. We all know that story. So let's go back a few moments afterward, where her and Natasha Romanoff, played by Scarlett Johansson, thank goodness she comes back. They're doing the thing. They get into a mission where they have to infiltrate a cargo ship. So they go there. They find the Hydra Stomper. Now, if you guys remember from last season, the way that Peggy Carter went back to her time period, she ended up with Natasha on that same ship and finding Steve Rogers in the Stomper. Now, she had no idea what was going on, how he was there, how he survived. The last time she saw him, he was fighting with her in World War II, and then that was the last time she saw him, because she got transported into the modern day, or her main timeline of the MCU. So he comes out, but he's not acting himself. He's kind of acting like how Bucky Barnes did when he was the Winter Soldier, brainwashed, using the Hydro Stomper to just try to destroy things. He actually went after Bucky Barnes, who is now a senator in the MCU. So that's cool, and he's older too. So that was interesting. Yeah, we got to see him get a little older, so a little bizarre in that universe, but I guess okay. And obviously, Peggy Carter and Black Widow decided to investigate. They find out that it is Steve Rogers inside the suit, but he's being controlled by the Black Widow program. If you guys remember the Black Widow program, the Black Widow program is the Russian government's way of making Black Widow soldiers to do their bidding and take over the world. Obviously, our Natasha Romanoff, she's one of them. She broke free. She became a good guy. We all know the story. So what they do? They go into infiltrate the base of the Black Widow room, and they find out who the leader is. It's Natasha's mother. I believe it's played by Rachel Weisz. Probably butchered that. Apologize, but I believe she comes back to do the voice. So that was great. And we got to see some cool action scenes. We got to see, Steve Rogers in his armor suit. I thought that stuff was cool. He couldn't be taken out of it because it's basically keeping him alive. So that was interesting. So maybe maybe another episode we'll see what happens to him. But yeah, I thought this episode was great. To me, this episode reminded me of what the Black Widow movie should have been. Now, I like the Black Widow movie, but I felt like the Black Widow movie should have been the sequel to the Black Widow movie, because the way that movie got set up, it should have been set up, way early in the MCU. This looks like it got taken place right after the Avengers event, like maybe even before or even during the same time period as maybe Iron Man 3, which is basically phase 2. So phase 2. So that would have been a perfect spot to put it there. But anyway, this episode felt like it could have been that movie, and we got to see Peggy Carter just be a badass again, and I really like her doing things that we don't even get to see Steve Rogers do with his super soul. I feel like in anime form, it can make Steve Rogers or even Peggy Carter unstoppable. Live action, still waiting to see what Steve Rogers actually is capable of. Yeah, he's a leader. He can lift up the hammer, but really, like, come on. I feel like Peggy Carter could kick his butt. Like, seriously. But anyway, that's just me. Plus, yeah. So we got to see Peggy Carter literally try to convince Steve Rogers, like, you're a good guy, I love you, all that good stuff. So, and try to convince him to stop being bad. It works for a minute, and then he kind of betrays them, and then, he ends up going back to being good again and to destroy the Black Widow program. Kind of reminded me also of like the Iron Giant, if you guys know that movie. Iron Giant, he had no memory of who he was. He remembers that he was supposed to be a big war destroyer. He meets a little kid, becomes a good guy. He ends up sacrificing himself to save the world. Kind of like that. So it had a little bit of the Iron Giant feel to it as well. And yeah, and then the ending of this episode was pretty interesting because it sets up the next episode where Peggy Carter was about to leave to try to go find Steve with Black Widow, and then she gets teleported somewhere else where even the Watcher doesn't know where the heck happened. He's like, wait, that's not supposed to happen. And then she gets transported to, I guess, from when I looked at the scene, it looks like a medieval time version of Earth. I'm not really sure, but we saw Nick Fury in some kind of get-up, so that was pretty interesting. And we also saw the return of Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch, aka Elizabeth Olsen, returning once again as Scarlet Witch. So yes, so I cannot wait to see that episode tomorrow. I don't know what that means, but it should be very fun. But this was a good episode. I enjoyed it a lot. It really, really captured the Black Widow movie a little bit more better and more fleshed out. So I thought that stuff really worked. And it was great seeing Steve Rogers again and him and his little Iron Man suit. I thought that stuff was great because I actually liked him in that suit in the first season. So yeah, good episode overall, and can't wait to see next week, tomorrow's episode. Sorry. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Are you guys still watching it? Not watching it? You guys gonna wait till after the holidays to watch all these episodes? Leave me a comment below. Let me know, and also let me know what's your favorite episode so far. Thank you very much, and have a good day.